Welcome to the Fantasy Dummies Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy.
And I'm Kay.
And we are the Fantasy Dummies.
I'm the fantasy. He's the dummy.
Okay. I mean, I guess.
One of these days, I'll get tired of saying that, and then
We'll just stop saying it.
Oh.
We're going to look back when we're like 1,000 episodes in, and we're going to kind of look at each other like, we really said that. Anyway, we have a mock draft for you guys today. It's going to be the first ever Fantasy Dummies mock draft.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's get it.
Are you?
No, not really. I'm going to auto draft.
You can't auto draft in our mock draft. Hello? So I actually got the 6th pick, and you got the 4th pick. Okay? So, are you rolling up your sleeves? You're getting ready for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go.
So let's go ahead and switch over to the board over here, right? So this is the board. Now, I haven't started the draft yet, but like I said, I'm the 6th pick, and Kay is the 4th pick. So we're going to kind of see if all of our
Maybe
divisions...
I should have picked a little later.
Well, I mean, we kind of picked at the same time. So let's just roll with it.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe if we can do a second mock draft at some point before the season starts, and we can kind of go from different ends or whatever, But for the time being, I think this is fine, right?
Sure.
So here we are. Do you have any plans for?
No, I'm auto drafting.
You're auto drafting. So let's go ahead and you ready for this?
Sure.
Okay. Let's get right into it. So, the draft has started.
McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, and CeeDee Lamb first to go. I have 4 minutes on the clock. That's wonderful.
4 hours.
I have 4 hours to pick.
It was like the default is like a minute and a half, and I thought if we wanted to talk about our picks or whatever, I just upped the time limit to 4 hours. So
right.
Please don't take 4 hours. I don't.
So this is really tough, right? So McCaffrey's off the board. Tyreek Hill is off the board. I like Tyreek Hill. I like CeeDee Lamb, but it's like the thing that we've been talking about. We don't really want to draft someone, who's been holding out.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound very fun. So then my option is my first, I know we haven't really talked about it, but one of the people that I have been wanting to pick up based on what we have talked about and based on, what other people have talked about is Breece Hall.
You want Breece Hall?
I want Breece Hall, but the thing is, my problem when I'm drafting is that, so you got Justin Jefferson right there. You got Amon-Ra Chase right there. You have the same screen pulled up, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can switch tabs right here to whichever position.
So then you got Bijan, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I'm like, shoot, never mind. I see Amon-Ra right there, and then I see Breece Hall. So then what are my options, right? And then I love A.J. Brown because,
It's A.J. Brown.
It's A.J. Brown.
And Eagles.
For sure. So this is tough for me, and I don't know why I picked 4th. It would have been easier if I was later in a draft.
But this is good, though, because we don't know. I mean, well, for the most part, you don't know where you're going to be drafting from until usually right before, unless, in your league, you pick the order before, before the draft happens. So
IRL, I wouldn't have 4 hours. I would have 2 minutes to think, 90 seconds to think about this shit, right?
Yeah, yep.
And I'm at the point where I'm like, well, I really like Breece Hall, but I really love the thought of Amon-Ra. But then I love A.J. Brown. Who the fuck do I go after here?
Yeah.
But then you also got Justin Jefferson still up there. I'm just, dude, I don't know. I hate this early draft pick.
Well, I mean, it's your first pick. So, I mean, let's try and narrow it down. Do you know what position you would prefer to have here? Running back, wide receiver?
I want to go with a wide receiver because there's not a lot of amazing wide receivers. I feel like that's something that we had talked about.
Sure.
Right?
I mean, yeah. I have a tier of wide receivers in this first round that I think are difference makers at the position, and that tier ends with Garrett Wilson. And then after that, there's a big teardrop for me.
Right.
So
I think I might go with Amon-Ra here.
Okay.
Just because at 4th, it is a snake draft. I have other options, that might fall to me.
Okay.
that I might like. So I'm going to go with Amon-Ra.
Okay.
I know I really like Breece Hall. Breece Hall is a really good option that I really wanted to pick up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Amon-Ra.
Yeah, that's fine. I love Amon-Ra this year. I have the 6th pick in one of my leagues coming up, and I'm pretty confident that if he's sitting there at 6, I'm going to be picking him. So I'm perfectly okay with you taking him at 4. Now we get to my pick, and you picked Amon-Ra, and Justin Jefferson is now gone. So the top of the queue for wide receivers is Ja'Marr Chase. Now, I have been poo-pooing Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase this entire offseason.
Oh, yeah. It's the hair.
I'm not comfortable taking Ja'Marr Chase here at all. So I'm not going to be picking Ja'Marr Chase. Now, A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson, like I said, that they're in a tier for me of wide receivers where after A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson, there's a big drop-off. But the problem is I am picking at pick 6, and I think that's still a little early for Garrett Wilson and A.J. Brown. So what have I noticed with the draft so far? McCaffrey's gone, and then it's been 4 receivers. Now, if you go over to the running backs, there are 2 legit difference-making running backs in this first round in Breece Hall and Bijan. So I'm going to be taking one of these 2 options here. I'm going to go with Breece Hall.
I like that.
So
I like Breece Hall.
I'm going to go with Breece Hall here because, in my opinion, he has the opportunity to finish as the number 1 running back in fantasy, especially with the McCaffrey injury, concerns. So I'm going to take Breece, and I'm going to see how the board comes back to me. And let's take a look. So Ja'Marr Chase goes 7th. Then you have Bijan 8. That's pretty standard. A.J. Brown 9. Garrett Wilson 10. Now, after the first 10 picks, those first 10 picks are pretty standard in most drafts, depending on whatever order, But after pick 10, it kind of gets, a little bit, it changes up a little bit. So we get Jonathan Taylor, pick 11, Saquon, pick 12, and then coming back in the second round, we get Gibbs, Marvin Harrison, Kyron Williams, Travis Etienne, Devontae Adams, and Puka Nacua. Puka almost dropped to me in the second round. That would have been not like an auto pick, but I would have heavily contemplated Puka there, considering, his value has dropped a ton after his knee injury, and I don't even think he's going to miss a game. So, but alas, we are here, and he's not there no more. So, who's on the top of the queue for me? We look at the receivers. You have Drake London and Chris Olave as the top 2, and then Brandon Ayuk, and then I'm not going to go through the rest. I'm not taking a receiver here. I don't like Drake London in the second. I also don't like Chris Olave in the second. We've gone over this. I think those 2 are both reaches at this price. So I'm going to go back to the running backs because, I literally made a video talking about how I think running back should be a lock for the second round. Now, we have Derrick Henry, Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Isaiah Pacheco. Those 4 names right there are smashes.
Smash.
I love all 4 of those, and I don't care what the ADP says. I think you could take any of those 4 at this point and be perfectly okay. And I'm going to do something kind of crazy. I'm going to see how my team looks. I'm going to take Devon Achane.
What?
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
So Devon Achane has the ability, in my opinion, to also finish as the running back 1 in this season. Now, that's a lot to ask considering health is a huge concern. But the good thing is he's not even my first running back. Breece Hall is my first running back. If Devon Achane was going to be my first running back, I probably would have gone with someone else. Like if I had drafted a wide receiver in the first round, I don't think I'd draft Devon Achane. Right. But since he is my second running back, it feels a lot better him being my second running back instead of my first. Mm. So, very high T start.
Right. All right, so then I'm up. Chris Olave goes out. And so the top of the queue here says Drake London, Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce, Josh Allen. Josh Allen. And then Sam Laporta. This is crazy stuff. Josh Allen is in a second round.
Well, not officially yet. It's kind of like a stock. He's not technically in the second round until you buy him.
I understand, but that means that people are picking him at the second round.
Yeah.
I love me some Josh Allen, but I don't want to pay the second round price for Josh Allen. There's so many other options here that I feel like, yeah, sure, picking Josh Allen would be an amazing pick because top tier elite freaking QB1 option, right?
Yeah.
But, you can get a QB. You can get a QB later on. I feel like that is going to be not as good for sure as Josh Allen. But I think over here, I was kind of hoping you wouldn't pick Derrick Henry because I like the Ravens as well, and I like the Derrick Henry option being available right here for me.
Yeah.
Since I picked a wide receiver first, I really want to pick a top tier running back here. I kind of want to have a top tier of everything. This is kind of what I want to go for in this draft here.
I get it. I love it. I mean, you already heard what I said about those top 4 running backs in that range. So
I'm gonna go with Derrick Henry here.
I love it. So
Travis Kelce, dang.
You want to break down what picks are going?
Yeah, Travis Kelce. Oh no, I closed out of it.
You closed out of it?
No, I went back. Travis Kelce just left. I'm sorry, he didn't just leave. He just went, and then Drake London, Josh Allen, and then Sam Laporta. That was
goodness.
Josh Jacobs, Ayuk, and now I'm stuck. I don't know who to pick. I'm gonna start auto drafting.
Okay. Well, something interesting to mention here is there's a term called the onesie positions that refers to the tight ends and the quarterbacks because generally you only start one of them.
Yeah. So
we have 3 onesie positions by the start of the 3rd round. We have Kelce and Laporta and Josh Allen all off the board. When this happens, this generally means that the running backs and wide receivers are going to get pushed down a little bit.
Yeah.
But this also means that you might need to grab your onesies a little earlier than you're really preparing for.
Oh boy. Yeah. That means that if I wanted to get Jalen Hurts here because of my draft position, I would have to pick him right now.
Yes. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be making it back to you now.
Absolutely not. No. So then that's the problem here, right? So then I got a wide receiver, a running back. Do I go with a Jalen Hurts QB here, which is, down the line here? But, we still have, Patrick Mahomes is also up here, which,
It's very interesting that Jalen Hurts on Sleeper is QB4. He's really my QB1 this year.
Right.
So that's very interesting. I didn't know he was that low on Sleeper.
Yeah. So then we got Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins. That's really strange that they got Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs right next to each other. I feel like one of them should be higher than the other. Mike Evans, Isaiah Pacheco. See, that's the thing though, right? At running back, I don't really know. I'm not really very good at it.
Good at what?
The running back positions.
Okay.
I'm gonna just, because I like Jalen Hurts and this is my draft. I don't give a crap whatever you guys say.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Jalen Hurts here just because he's my boo.
I mean, and see, the thing is, that's what happens when you don't you play with humans in every league, right? You're not going to play with the computer. If I was in your position, my pick would have been so easy. It wouldn't have been Jalen Hurts. It would have been Isaiah Pacheco. Because it's like I said, if you look at the running back tier here.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it.
Isaiah Pacheco is the last one that I really like before it kind of starts tailing off.
I know. That's what I was kind of saying, that, I don't really know who else to pick here because Isaiah Pacheco would have been a really good pick, but it's just that.
I would have run up to the board with Isaiah Pacheco in my hands. He would have been an auto pick for me, basically.
I know. I understand.
Yeah.
But I love me some Jalen Hurts, and I can't pass up on Jalen Hurts.
Hey, you know what? You're an Eagles fan, and you have, you can do that. You know what I mean? I don't dislike it at all. Jalen Hurts is my QB1 this year, so getting him in the 3rd round is perfectly fine with me.
Yes, I play with my heart and not with my wallet.
The problem is, with this, for me anyway, is that I started running back, and you have left Isaiah Pacheco on the board for me.
I did.
So what do I do now?
So that means that you're gonna have to pick you a running back.
If I start running back,
all the top tier wide receivers.
Let's talk about the wide receiver. Oh, and if you can't see our board, if this is listen only, Patrick Mahomes went after K took Jalen Hurts.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Mike Evans at the top of the queue, Nico Collins. What's that noise?
I'm sorry, I'm popping my finger.
Okay, yeah, don't do that. That's weird.
Very fidgety.
We have Mike Evans, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Debo, Jalen Waddle. Now, this is tough because there's a couple receivers here that I really actually kind of want. I want Nico. I want Jalen Waddle. I mean, Debo we've talked about. I mean, all these are good options, but I'm coming back to Isaiah Pacheco here. I was really hoping you were going to take him so I didn't have to make this decision. If I get Isaiah Pacheco here and I have 3 legit workhorse running backs that all have the potential to be top 3 backs, I don't know how I can pass that up. Even though this start is very weird. I don't know if I'm ever going to start triple running back, but I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. You have the notification noise on.
Oh, I turned it off. Oh, maybe because I exited out.
You exited out, yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So,
blip, blip, blip.
This is probably going to be a very rough draft for me on every other position, but my running backs are set. Okay.
You better run you to the finish line.
And Waddle almost came all the way back to me, which is insane work. Okay. So let's take a look at who went. So it was basically nothing but receivers, which really fucks me over. So Debo Samuel, Mike Evans, Nico Collins, DJ Moore, Lamar Jackson, interesting, Stephon Diggs, and then to the turn, Team 12 also got Rashad White, and then Cooper Kupp. I would have loved if Cooper Kupp would have fallen to me. Mark Andrews, Malik Neighbors, Michael Pittman, and Jalen Waddle. Now, I would have loved for either one of Nico Collins, Cooper Kupp, or Jalen Waddle to fall to me here, but none of them did. So, going back to my team, I need to start drafting some receivers, or else I'm going to be dead in the water here. So, looking at the receivers here, DK Metcalf is at the top. He is an alpha. He is screaming to me that I need to draft him. I mentioned in our NFC West episode that I think he's being drafted at his floor currently.
Yes.
And I could easily see him having, I don't know, maybe like a top 15 wide receiver season here. So I'm going to take the layup, and I'm going to draft DK Metcalf.
All right. And then that goes Alvin Kamara. Okay, so now I'm left with CJ Stroud, Trey McBride, Joe Mixon, and blah, 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 a bunch of other guys. But see over here, man, I'm not picking Devontae Smith.
Why not?
Because
it's screaming to me. Why wouldn't you pick him? You get to stack him with Jalen Hurts too?
I know, I can. But my thing is, I could draft Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker?
Yes.
This is true.
You know, he's the number 1 RB1, yeah, for Seattle. Am I wrong?
You are indeed correct. And remember, I had made that point before that in the NFC West episode, actually, that for me, there's a tier 1 of running back, right? And then there's fringe guys, and then it's a dead zone.
Yeah. I feel like I really want to grab Kenneth Walker here just because stacking Jalen Hurts with Devontae Smith is a really great option. But on the other hand, he's not the wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the 4th round, and I have a clear RB1 option here, you know, from a team that will hopefully be very good this year. Yeah. Has a new coaching staff. Hopefully they'll be a lot better. It's a little scary to pick him just because of the whole coaching staff situation. And sometimes you don't get that all in the off season.
Yeah.
You know, but a running back position is probably safer to pick than a wide receiver option in a newer coaching staff.
Yeah. Can I ask you something real quick before you make that pick? Do you have any, like, what about Joe Mixon and James Cook, who are rated higher in ADP than Kenneth Walker? Why Kenneth Walker in particular over those two?
Because I don't like Joe Mixon.
Oof. Okay.
I don't like Joe Mixon personally.
Yeah.
Like I said, I play with my heart and not with my wallet and my brain. I have been burned by Joe Mixon a lot.
A lot?
A lot. I mean,
how about James Cook?
I just can't, like, I can't pick him up.
I get it. You just want Kenneth Walker. I get it.
Actually, I'm so dumb. My thing was just scrolled all the way down, and it wasn't even scrolled all the way up.
Oh, so you didn't even see James Cook there?
Yeah, my line was at CJ Stroud.
Oh. Well, were you on the QB tab? Is that why?
No, I wasn't on the QB tab. It was literally just scrolled down just
Oh,
a
I
hair.
see. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know where James Cook is that you're talking about. Do I need to scroll all the way down for him over here? Or like, what the hell? Okay, well then that just really puts a dingleberry in my plans.
Who are you going to pick? You've been talking to Kenneth Walker. You might as well just take him now.
No, I can't. I'm going to take James Cook.
Okay.
I didn't know he was an option.
Okay.
I literally thought that my next option here was Joe Mixon and then Kenneth Walker. I'm like, I'm not drafting Joe Mixon. You got me fucked up.
Okay. We'll draft him then.
I'm picking James Cook.
Okay.
I don't know what I just did.
Okay. So you're picking James Cook because you love Kenneth Walker.
I swear I didn't see him there.
I cannot believe you didn't take Devontae Smith.
I can.
Oh, it's your pick again.
Oh no, I'm screwed. Don't look at that. Kenneth Walker.
Hey, guess who's still on the board?
Kenneth Walker is still on the board.
He is.
Oh my gosh. Now what do I do?
What do you do, indeed?
What do I do?
Don't ask me. It's your draft.
Ooh. So let's see. Devontae Smith, McBride, tight end, Tank Dell, George Pickens, and Joe Mixon and CJ Stroud all just went, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then the top of the list, if I'm not wrong, please tell me if I'm wrong, is Kenneth Walker.
Yes.
And I was just talking all kinds of good stuff about him.
You were, yeah.
Right. So then now under him, beneath him, you got Kincaid, tight end, for the Buffalo. Zay Flowers, George Kittle, Kyle Pitts, Anthony Richardson, and then
dead zone.
Right.
For running backs.
Okay. So I have 2 running backs.
Uh-huh.
Do I?
You have 2.
I have 2 running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have 2 running backs. Anyway, sorry. So I have 2 legit options for running back, right? And then this is one of the things that we talked about. You either grab a really good tight end or you punt the position, right? Or
sure.
Is that not this year?
I mean, I like the tight ends all the way through maybe tight end 9, tight end 10 through about Jake Ferguson. After that, it feels like a punt. So it's up to you.
Right. So I really like the option of getting Kenneth Walker here. I mean, it's like I said, I was talking all kinds of good stuff about him over here.
Yeah.
But can I just auto draft?
No. Pick someone.
I'm gonna just go with Kenneth Walker just because I was talking so much stuff about him.
I love your team so far. Honestly, like I wouldn't have changed. I mean, other than switching Pacheco out for Hurts. I mean, but that would have like if I would have known that you were going to get James Cook and Kenneth Walker in the 4th and 5th. I mean, I might have drafted Hurts still ahead of Pacheco. So I love your team so far. You're going kind of like a hero wide receiver build, which I also am, but your wide receiver is Amon-Ra St. Brown and mine is DK Metcalf. But with that being said, I'm going to go another receiver here because there's so much value to be had with these receivers in these middle rounds. Now, top of the queue, we have Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin. None of them are really, really screaming out to me. If I had to choose from the group at the top here, it's definitely Amari Cooper by a long shot. Now, T. Higgins could have a very good year, but you already know how I feel about Joe Burrow. He has the most upside probably out of this group, but it's so dependent on Joe Burrow's health. Keenan Allen, I'm not drafting fat Keenan Allen this year. I'm just not doing it. Christian Kirk, I'm not really feeling Christian Kirk either. Terry McLaurin, he's gotten a boost since Jahan Dotson is no longer there. And then Rashee Rice is screaming up draft boards because now it's under the impression that he's not even going to be suspended this year. It might wait until next year.
Okay.
So by the time we actually draft, Rashee Rice might be in this range or actually drafted by now. But he's not. So I'm just going to go with old boring Amari Cooper. And the reason why is Deshaun Watson is already kind of hurt, which would be a bad thing most times. But the backup quarterback for the Browns is Jameis Winston.
Oh, he throws bombs.
He throws bombs.
Or interceptions.
But the thing is, that ain't on Amari Cooper. So
yeah.
I'm going to take boring old... Well, I mean, we can look at other positions. I'm not really a Dalton Kincaid fan. Kittle's whatever. Like, I'm not really feeling these tight ends either. Quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson is here, which is like... very interesting. But I feel because of the fact I took 3 running backs at the top, I can't really be balanced. I need to catch up with receiver here. So I'm going to take Amari Cooper.
You're panicking.
Oh, I'm not panicking. I love my running back room. My running back room is going to be the best in this league. So let's go through these picks. After I picked Amari Cooper, Kyle Pitts, T. Higgins, George Kittle, Anthony Richardson, Dalton Kincaid, Aaron Jones, Joe Burrow, James Conner, David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, Evan Ingram, and Najee Harris. Now, what do you notice about that? Between my last pick and this pick, there was only one other receiver taken in T. Higgins. That's insane. It was nothing but running backs. There was 4 tight ends taken, two quarterbacks, and another 4 running backs. So, man, am I happy that I have my starting 3 running backs. Because I just had 4 of them get evaporated before me here. And I'm back on the clock. Now, looking at the quarterbacks here, Kyler Murray is so interesting to me. I said in the NFC West episode that I really do think that Kyler Murray has easy potential to finish top 3 and top 5 at the position. The problem is I'm still pretty behind on receiver. But, I mean, what are my options? They're basically the same options minus T. Higgins. So, Keenan Allen, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, those aren't going to get me out of bed in the morning. We just had a ton of running backs leave, but I have 3 running backs, so I'm not even going to look at the position, at least not right now. And tight end, I'm looking at who? I'm looking at Brock Bowers, David Njoku. I'm going to get my quarterback now. I'm going to get Kyler Murray.
That's a good pick. I like that
because he has that rushing upside. I think he's going to be top 5 at the position this year. I think he's being underdrafted. So I'm going to grab Kyler Murray here.
All right. And then there goes Fat Keenan Allen. That just got
There
picked.
he goes. You can't pick Fat Keenan Allen. I'm sorry.
All right. So I'm up. Fat Keenan Allen just went up. On the top of the board here, you got Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Ramondre Stevenson, Rashee Rice, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I know who I'm going to pick here.
Oh, do you?
I do. I don't want to pick Christian Kirk, although he is at the top of this list here.
Yeah.
Because he plays for the Jaguars.
Okay.
And Sunshine. I don't hate Sunshine. I like his hair. But I don't want to pick Terry McLaurin. I mean, I know it's probably going to be a better pick to pick McLaurin here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he's clear number 1 wide receiver for the Commanders. Mm-hmm. But he plays for the Commanders. Let's be honest. I'm an Eagles fan.
Yeah, you don't like the Commanders. I
don't like the Commanders. I play with my heart. I feel like I'm going to say this so many times today. But anyway, I'm going to go with Rashee Rice here. Rashee.
Right. Yeah. I love that pick. I like that a lot.
I'm going to go with Rice here because he's just, I mean, who else do I go with? As long as he doesn't freaking get suspended, please.
He has Patrick Mahomes throwing to him. So, I mean, I love the pick personally. So
I have a winning team. How about you?
I love my team too. So, I mean, we'll see at the end. You know, the mock draft, as you can see on the screen right now, is only going through the end of 11 rounds because we kind of decided that, I don't know, we don't really want to draft defenses and kickers and all that and in a mock draft. So,
right.
You know, we're pretty much, I think we're a little over halfway now.
Right.
So
then after my Rice, you got Ramondre, Chris Godwin, Xavier Worthy, Pollard, Dak Prescott, and Raheem Mostert.
Mostert, yeah.
Right. So then I'm stuck with Christian Kirk is still back on the board. Like, wow. and Terry McLaurin, y'all, come on, man. Ooh. There is an option here that I see.
Okay.
I like the option here of Rome
Odunze. Yeah.
I like how his name just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Roma Dunze.
Yeah.
But then again, you also got Jaden Reed, who could be a very good option. Dude, like, I don't know who to go with here.
Are you asking for my opinion?
No.
Okay.
My brain was just like click clock.
Computing.
Yeah.
I get it.
So I feel like I have a really good two wide receiver, 3 amazing running back. I got a great quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go with Roma Dunze here.
Okay.
I know he plays for Chicago, but
Chicago's supposed to be good this year.
I know exactly. So I'm gonna go with him. I think it's a great option.
Yeah, as your number 3 receiver in a team that's already very balanced.
Brother.
I love it too. And Christian Kirk, unfortunately, goes right before me.
Oh man, that's so unfortunate.
No, I mean, I don't know. I'm not looking Christian Kirk's way, honestly. I think that pretty shortly after the season, I don't know if it's going to be game 1 or game 4, I think Brian Thomas, the rookie on the Jaguars, has the ability and the talent to take over as the number 1 receiver on the Jaguars, like sooner rather than later. And I would just rather draft him than Christian Kirk. Boring old Christian Kirk, who I think is good. I don't think he has star upside. So, and also he's going to be competing with targets with Evan Ingram over the middle. So,
right.
Yeah, it's just tough. So, it's back to me. Now, my team seems to be pretty balanced. 3 running backs, 2 receivers, quarterback. I don't really know which direction in terms of position I want to go here. I know I'm not getting a quarterback again. Let's look at the running backs. Zamir White, Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, Zach Moss. None of these options are worth picking at this point, especially since I already have 3 elite options. Since I do have 3 elite running backs, the running backs I'm going to be taking from here on out on my bench are going to be basically the highest upside handcuffs that I can get. So those don't start getting drafted until the double-digit rounds. So I'm probably not going to be drafting another running back until round 10, 11, somewhere in there. So let's skip over that. Let's go to tight end real quick. Now, we got Brock Bowers, David Njoku, Jake Ferguson. So I'm going to play the board a little bit here. If you notice something, playing the board is very important. It's something to keep in mind whenever you're drafting in real life. So if we look at the board here, teams 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 already all have tight ends. All of them do. So there's only one team drafting after me that does not have a tight end as of right now. Now, I don't think any of those 5 teams are going to be taking a second tight end this early. So I'm not going to be taking a tight end here. I'm going to be taking a tight end with my next pick, if that makes sense. And that's just because there are, let me look at it again. David Njoku and Jake Ferguson, I have pretty even, and Brock Bowers is a high upside rookie. I'm okay with any of those options, those 3, and I pretty much know for a fact that at least 2 of them are going to be coming back to me. So I'm gonna kick tight end down the road, and I'm gonna draft another receiver here. And looking at the list, I want to go. I think what I'm going to do, this is tough. I'm stuck between McLaurin and Calvin Ridley. And the only reason, like, normally Terry McLaurin wouldn't be this high for me, but because of the because of the Jahan Dotson news, I'm more in on Terry McLaurin this year. So this is tough. I like Ridley too. I think I'm going to go Terry McLaurin. This might be one of the first times I've ever drafted him. Ever. Literally. So, as my third receiver, though, I mean, most weeks, my flex is going to be one of my 3 running backs that I took in the first 3 picks. So, he doesn't even have to be a starter for me. So, let's go through the next few picks here. It goes Jordan Love, Nick Chubb, Brock Purdy, Jaden Reed, Calvin Ridley, and then Jake Ferguson. So Team 12 did take a tight end at the turn. Ladd McConkey, Jordan Addison, Javonte Williams, Keon Coleman, Caleb Williams, and Zamir White. So just like I predicted, there was only one tight end taken in those next picks, right? And so I get, like I said before, I'm going to be taking a tight end here, and I'm going to be taking David Njoku because through the last 8 weeks of last season, he was the tight end 1. So that was with, obviously, Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco's not there anymore, but he kind of broke out last year, and this late into the draft, being he's going off his tight end 8 or 9, I'm loving the David Njoku pick here, so I'm just going ahead and click him, and I'm done with my onesie positions.
Your onesie position? All right, so then I am left with, can I auto draft at this point?
No, you cannot.
Damn. All right, so I don't really know what I want to pick in this round right here because I feel like I should go with another running back, but I feel like my running backs are, in a good position as they are.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the options that I was looking at wasn't, I guess, had just gone.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think they did. But I don't really know where I want to go with here, so...
I mean, well, let's go over your team. You have 3 running backs, 3 receivers, and a quarterback. You don't have a tight end yet. Is there a tight end that's sticking out to you?
I kind of wanted to go with Dallas Goedert here. I know he's not really like a number 1 pick for a lot of people or most people. He's not really highly rated this year, and he's hurt. But
well, you're really selling me on him.
Yeah. But the thing is, he plays for the Eagles, and the Eagles has a pretty good line. I feel like he could have a good upside there. But the thing is, they also have a lot of other weapons that I know that they use him a lot.
Well, they also added Jahan Dotson.
Right. So I know they last year they tended to use him towards more of the red zone.
Yeah.
So that's a possible option for me. I'm not really sure.
Well, I will say if you play the board like I did earlier, you can see that the teams that you're going to be that are picking behind you here before it gets to your next round pick all have tight ends already.
Yeah, no, I know. I noticed that. So that's why I wasn't really looking at a tight end in this round right here because I'm going to pick almost immediately after.
Yeah.
I was thinking of getting a running back if I could find one that appeals to me that is still available.
Yeah.
I don't really know who would be a good one here, and I need your expertise.
Need my expertise. Well, I like Zach Moss because it's an ambiguous backfield in Cincinnati. We don't know who the starter is yet, so you can always take a shot on Zach Moss. He's not even he's your 4th running back, so it's a high upside pick. Jalen Warren, I mean, it's going to be a rush first offense probably. The problem is he's already hurt. Devin Singletary is going to get all the volume, but it's for the New York Giants. Tajay Spears is in a timeshare with Tony Pollard. I mean, all of these are going to be, ambiguous backfields, or they have upside, but other than Singletary. But I mean, it's really what you fancy, to be honest. So,
yeah, I don't know either. I kind of just. Can I just auto draft? I'm kidding. I like the Jalen Warren pick here. I mean, I know he's hurt.
Yeah.
I feel like although
that's who I would be picking as well if I was going to go running back.
Yeah, because I'm gonna go with Jalen Warren here.
Okay.
Because I want a running back, and he's the only one that screams to me.
I got you. And there you go. So with the picks after K, took Jalen Warren. It went Zach Moss, Hollywood Brown, Brian Thomas. I like that pick. Devin Singletary, Austin Eckler, and Deontay Johnson. And now it's back to you.
Right. So then, like I said earlier, I wanted to wait a little bit to get a tight end. But I think this round here, I want to get a tight end.
Okay.
Is there a reason why I would prefer to get any one of these over Dallas Goedert?
I would prefer Brock Bowers. And the reason is because Brock Bowers was a very high-touted rookie tight end. He's a rookie this year, and he was seen as like a very good prospect at tight end. Now he goes to the Raiders, which is a pretty shit situation. But the good thing is with the Raiders is that Gardner Minshew is probably going to pepper him with a lot of targets. The problem with Dallas Goedert is that they have Saquon, they have A.J. Brown, they have Devontae Smith, and now they have Jahan Dotson. I can't even tell you that Dallas Goedert is going to be the fourth best target on that offense. I mean, he could be the fifth target in that offense. Mm-hmm. Whereas Brock Bowers, in a shittier offense, has the ability to be the second target behind Devontae Adams.
Right. Okay, so then we also got Dalton Schultz available.
I would not draft Dalton Schultz, no.
Okay. All right, well, then I guess it's pretty clear for me that I should probably go with Brock.
I mean, it's whatever you want to do. You said you wanted Goddard.
I wanted Goddard, but I also want to win.
Okay, fair enough. So after you took Bowers, Christian Watson's off the board, which is fine with me. So looking at my team, I am perfectly balanced. I have 3 running backs. I have 3 receivers. I have my quarterback and my tight end. So I can go any way I want to here. I'm going to be... Let's look at the board. Okay. So, for me, this is easy, right? I'm going to go receiver here, and the reason why is because we're in a PPR league, and I think loading up your bench with receivers is the way to go. And I have 3 elite running backs, so really, my 4th running back on my bench, the only way that running back is going to start for me at any point this season is if I get injuries. And if I get injuries to my top 3 running backs, I mean, my season's pretty much screwed anyway. And my three wide receivers that I have are like old guys. I have Metcalf, Cooper, and McLaurin. Not a lot of sexy appeal to that at all. Okay. Just a bunch of old dudes who have been around the block for a minute. So with this pick, I really want some wide receiver upside. I want a wide receiver that is getting drafted late, obviously, but has the ability and like the opportunity to really shoot up, and blow up their ADP. So with that being said, I'm going to be double stacking here, but I'm going to go with Jackson Smith and Jigba. I really love this pick because, oh shit, I clicked on the wrong thing. I really love this pick because I already have DK Metcalf, right? And so I have 2 of the wide receivers from the Seahawks. But the thing is that DK Metcalf is the red zone target, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, going into his second year, I think can really have a breakout season here, especially with Tyler Lockett going on the decline. So a lot of upside here. I would have preferred one of the rookies. Like I would have loved if like Brian Thomas fell to me here. That would have been my easy pick. I wouldn't have even thought twice about it, but he didn't. So I'm going to go with Jackson Smith and Jigba and hope for the breakout. And after I picked, so let's go through the picks. You have DeAndre Hopkins, Tua, TJ Hawkinson, Brian Robinson, Dallas Goedert, Jared Goff, Trey Benson, Tajay Spears, Dalton Schultz, Ezekiel Elliott, Jamison Williams, and Gus Edwards. So a lot of mixed bags here. People are already drafting their second tight end. I would only suggest drafting a second tight end if you really miss out on like one of the top 8 or 9. If you draft one of the top 8 or 9, I wouldn't even touch tight end again, honestly, because you're going to be able to find someone on waiver wires probably after week 1 that will be sufficient to like a Dallas Goedert or a Dalton Schultz or something like that. So I'm glad all those tight ends went after me because that means someone assuredly fell back to me. So let's take a look. Okay, so let's look at the running backs. We have Chase Brown, Blake Corum on the board, Jerome Ford, Chuba Hubbard, J.K. Dobbins. All those can be viable. For wide receiver, we have Cortland Sutton, Curtis Samuel, Romeo Doubs, Tyler Lockett, Khalil Shakir. So no one's super screaming out to me. Now, there are quite a few running backs here that I'm okay with, but I mean, let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 4th running back here. I'm going to shoot for upside because that's what I need for my team. My top 3 picks were all running backs. They're not going to get benched unless there's an injury. So let me shoot for an upside pick and hope that they break out on my bench. And I'm totally willing to leave them on my bench until I see it happen because I have the ability to do that with this team, I am going to take Chase Brown here.
Oh.
And I'm going to hope that maybe Zach Moss shits the bed and Chase Brown becomes the explosive running back 1 for the Bengals. And that will happen on my bench.
All right.
I'm talking.
Sorry, my bad. Okay. I don't even know who the guy is that just went.
Jerome Ford.
Oh, Jerome.
He's the running back for the Browns currently for Nick Chubb.
Okay. Well, it's my pick, and I was thinking of getting a wide receiver here because there is a guy that I want to pick up right here, and it's Romeo Doubs.
Romeo Doubs.
Why
is that?
I don't know. I like his name.
You like his name. Okay.
Well, no, it's because reading the analysis that they have on here, it says that, there's a hype around him, and you got Jordan Love throwing to him.
I honestly don't hate it, to be honest. I think as your 4th receiver, I can see that being totally fine. So
thanks.
I mean, you drafted him for his name, so.
I didn't draft him for his name. I actually read up on it, okay?
Okay.
A little bit.
All right.
You got Josh Daniels just left.
Josh Daniels?
Jaden Daniels? Jade. Shush.
Okay.
All right, you go ahead with the rest.
So after Romeo Doubs, we have Jaden Daniels, Curtis Samuel, Cortland Sutton, Blake Corum, Cole Kmet, and Tyler Lockett. So, and it's back to you for your last pick.
I really like the Khalil Shakir option here.
I love that pick, yeah.
But the problem is I also already have a Buffalo player here.
You have James Cook.
He's a running back.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I really want to
double stack the Bills.
Yeah. I mean, the Bills are an amazing team.
Yeah.
But do I really want to do that to myself?
Yeah, true. I mean, looking at your receivers, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashee Rice, and Rome Odunze and Romeo Doubs. If you go with another receiver here, it has to be someone, in my opinion, that has an upside case to play over Romeo or Rome Odunze. You have a Romeo and a Rome. It kind of threw me off. So,
I could pick a backup quarterback, but I feel I have Jalen Hurts. I don't want to pick a backup until way late in the rounds. I could go with Chuba Hubbard here for another running back, but I have
he's not really I don't know. It's tough because Chuba Hubbard is probably going to be the starting running back for the first 4 weeks, and then it's going to be Jonathan Brooks. Yeah. So Chuba Hubbard's his best value to your team is going to be in the first 4 weeks of the season, and the issue is he's probably not going to start even on his best 4 weeks of the season. He's probably not going to start over Kenneth Walker, James Cook, or Derrick Henry.
Right.
So,
another option for me here would be Joshua Palmer. Is that
as a receiver?
Yeah, I don't really know what I need here. Because
if I were you, I would go Rico Dowdle, and just I know he's a Cowboy and you hate the Cowboys, but the thing is, Rico Dowdle, we don't know yet who the starting running back is going to be for the Cowboys. It could be Zeke or it could be Rico Dowdle. You can draft Rico Dowdle with the last pick in your draft here, and week 1 rolls around and if we see Zeke has 80% of the rushes, you can just cut Rico Dowdle.
Right.
But if week 1 happens and Rico Dowdle has 80% of the rushes, you just nailed the running back 1 for the Dallas Cowboys in the 11th round of your draft.
That means that I would have to root for the Cowboys.
Sure.
Sure, I'll go with them. I'll go with your suggestion.
Yeah.
Late rounds, usually, I go with whatever.
I'll say this. Rico Dowdle, it was between him and Chase Brown for me in the previous round.
Oh.
So those were the 2 options that I was thinking about. Thinking about. I have the hiccups after drinking that coffee. So this is my last pick. Let's take a look at my team. I got the top 3 running backs. I have 4 receivers that I like. I have Chase Brown and Now, under normal circumstances where there was going to be more rounds in this draft, I would be drafting a backup quarterback. It wouldn't be with this pick because I know he's probably going to go undrafted, but I would 100% draft Geno Smith on this team. And the reason is because I have DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba. You let me draft Geno Smith as my backup QB on my bench, and every single week when he's throwing touchdowns to those two players, I'm going to be getting it twice. So Geno Smith is a layup backup quarterback for this team. Now I know he's going late enough where I don't have to draft him with this pick necessarily. So I'm just saying for this team, I would be drafting Geno Smith at some point. Tight end, I'm not going to be drafting a backup tight end either. Njoku, I believe, has, enough upside and floor to provide that I don't need a backup tight end for this team. I can just pick one up off the waivers, like a Ben Sinnott or Zach Ertz, one of those tight ends if I really need someone. So I'm going to be looking at probably wide receiver here. Now, Khalil Shakir is very interesting. I'm trying to think of something to say about him that is going to sway my decision away from him. Dontavian Wicks is also very interesting, but I don't know. It would be very early for this pick. I would probably save a Devontae Wicks pick for later in the draft if it existed. But like I said, this is my last pick. So I am going to be going with Khalil Shakir. He has the opportunity here, especially with Curtis Samuel's turf toe, to instantly be the number one receiving option. I know Keon Coleman, the rookie, is there, and everyone loves Keon Coleman to be that alpha number one receiver for the Bills, and that's why he's being drafted so high in these drafts. But Khalil Shakir already has a rapport with Josh Allen, and like I said, Curtis Samuel's already out with an injury. So what if it's just Khalil Shakir as the number one receiving option? So I think at this point in the draft, as my last pick, Khalil Shakir is an easy selection.
I like it.
And we let the rest of the draft play out, and that would be it. So that's the draft.
Awesome.
So
I like my team. My team is stacked.
You like your team?
I like my team.
I like my team too. It's very high T. So you want to go through our teams?
Yeah. So for my team, for my first pick, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I like his name. Derrick Henry, running back. Josh. I like Josh. Is Josh, every time I see a J, is that just a Josh to me?
It could, yeah.
I think every time I see a J, it's just a Josh.
More like Jalen. That's a very popular J name right now.
Oh.
So.
Well, I got a Jalen. I got a Jalen Hurts for 3. James Cook.
Mm-hmm.
Kenneth Waller.
Kenneth Waller?
Walker.
Yeah. All right.
Rashee Rice. Romadunze.
Uh-huh.
And then I got Jalen Warren. I got 2 Jalens.
Yeah, you did.
Very popular.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. And I got Brock Bowers for my tight end.
Very tight end name.
Romeo Dubs.
Uh-huh. And Rico Dowdle.
I like my team. I got Rico, Romeo, Romadunze. I got Jalen, Rashi. Their names are very, very odd. I got Amon-Ra.
Uh-huh. And then you have a Derrick.
And I got Derrick. Derrick is going to be the one going off because he's the one with the most generic name out of everyone.
I really like your team as well. I would have preferred for you to get a better tight end than Brock Bowers. He's kind of below the tier of tight ends that I'm comfortable with, but
sure.
It is what it is, I suppose.
I have some top tier players. I don't mind to.
No, for sure. I mean, your running backs are solid, and you have Amon-Ra and Jalen Hurts. I'm totally cool with your team. With that said, let's talk about the winning team here.
No.
I was picking from the 6th spot. I got Breece Hall, came back around with Devon Achane, and then came back around again with Isaiah Pacheco. Those are 3. And look, I haven't done my running back rankings, but in my opinion, those 3 running backs are top 12 running backs.
Heck yeah.
So in my rankings, I got 3 top 12 running backs, which is insane. Okay. And then I come back around with DK Metcalf and Amari Cooper, who I both think are a little underrated. Amari Cooper, I think he gets underrated every single year. Okay.
Every year, yeah.
Every year. And he's going to be the number 1 option for the Browns. I got the number one receiving option like pretty clearly, and the number one receiving option for the Seattle Seahawks in the 4th and 5th rounds. And we already talked about DK Metcalf. I think he's being drafted at his floor. I don't see how he doesn't beat this ADP, honestly. So perfectly okay with that. I got Kyler Murray as my quarterback, which I've said Kyler Murray has a very likely chance to be a top 5 quarterback this year. Coming off, he's already a year removed from the ACL tear, and he has a rushing floor and the passing, floor with Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride now. Like, I just don't see how he doesn't smash the quarterback 7 or 8, price tag he has. I just don't. And then I come back around with Terry McLaurin, who, again, not a Terry guy, but he's the volume number 1 target for Jaden Daniels now, with Jahan Dotson gone. So I will happily take a shot like that on him. David Njoku, who's perfectly fine, also mispriced. I think he should be going higher. And then the rest of my bench is just upside. There's just nothing but upside. Jackson Smith and Jigba going into his 2nd year and a better offense with DK Metcalf, should have more plays and more volume. Chase Brown, we don't know who the number 1 running back is for the Bengals as of yet. If it ends up being Chase Brown, this is going to look like a great pick. If it ends up being Zach Moss and Chase Brown is just the 3rd down back, then I can just cut him and just pick up someone else off waivers. If this draft was going on longer, I would have drafted more running back depth. So, I mean, it's very easily that I can just cut Chase Brown if it doesn't look like he's going to be the guy pretty fast. And then Khalil Shakir is, we don't know what the wide receiver depth for Buffalo is going to be yet. So he could very easily be the number 1, and we'll find that out pretty quick. So, yeah, that's the draft. That's our first official mock draft for the Fantasy Dummies podcast. Anything else you would like to add?
I'm going to win.
You're going to win the mock draft?
Yes, I'm going to win.
As soon as I click off of this, it's gone. I mean, it's going to be etched into a video, but other than that, no.
I'm going to win.
Okay.
We can just do all these mock drafts, and then I'm just going to go into the actual draft, and I'm going to forget every single thing that we talked about.
You're going to ask me if you can start auto-picking after the 2nd round pick?
Exactly. Absolutely not, dude. Like, I feel like I know more this season than any other.
I would hope so. We're hosting a fantasy football podcast.
Sure.
So, with that, we are the Fantasy Dummies. My name is Jeremy.
And I'm Kay.
And we'll see you guys later. Leave a comment and a like or whatever if you want to see more mock drafts, or tell me my team is stupid or Kay's team is stupid.
My team is awesome. Shut up.
Just comment and let us know who won the mock draft. So we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Sure.